I'm just going to switch over to share my screen and pull up a very brief PowerPoint presentation, because some of the things I'd like to share with you today I thought might be a little easier to do so with a PowerPoint presentation. So here we go. Let me just see if I can get this to go. There we go. All right. So this is just a nice little infographic. This was created by CDC for this year's flu season to just really encourage people that the flu vaccine protects not only yourself, but your family and your community. So I thought I would start off with just a few questions about that people have about flu vaccine. So number one question everybody wants to know, who should get the flu vaccine? And the CDC recommends, well, the CDC is the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, and they recommend that everybody 6 months of age and older gets a flu vaccine every year, unless you have a health condition that would make it so you should not get it. And there's only just a handful of those, but so pretty much everybody who's 6 months of years of age or older should get a flu vaccine. And people often want to know, okay, when's the best time to get a flu vaccine? Right now. Now is the best time. CDC recommends by the end of October, as many people as possible have received the flu vaccine. However, it's also really important, if you don't get a chance to get it by the end of October, you can get the flu vaccine anytime that influenza viruses are circulating in the community and your healthcare provider has unexpired vaccine. Influenza vaccine is good from July 1st of the current year through June 30th of the following year. So the flu vaccine is out and available for this 2020-2021 influenza season. And some people have heard that the flu vaccine can give you the flu. Is this true? No, the flu vaccine cannot give you the flu. The flu vaccine is made up of virus or parts of virus that are uninfectious. They cannot make you sick. But what they do is they stimulate your immune system to create antibodies, so you can fight the flu when you do get, when your immune system is challenged by the flu. And sometimes this immune response can cause some very mild flu symptoms. Some people get a little bit of a temperature or some body aches, but the most common is just some redness and soreness at the injection site. So no, the flu vaccine cannot give you the flu. Some people have heard that the flu vaccine is not very effective. So why would I want to get a vaccine that's not very effective? Every year, the CDC estimates the amount of influenza-like illness that occurs in the nation, and also how much the influenza vaccine prevents. And they come up with this infographic each year to kind of put that into perspective. So at the top of this, you can see how much influenza burden of disease, this is CDC, say happened last flu season. So they estimate there was about 38 million flu illnesses, 400,000 flu hospitalizations, and 22,000 flu deaths just in the last flu season alone from influenza. But with 50% of the nation estimated to have gotten the flu vaccine last year, and at approximately a 40% effectivity when you look at it as a whole of the vaccine, they estimate that 7.5 million flu illnesses were averted. That means that the flu vaccine, they estimate, prevented 7.5 million flu illnesses, prevented 105,000 hospitalizations, and that it also prevented 6,300 deaths. So just imagine how many more of these illnesses, hospitalizations, and deaths we can prevent if even more people get the flu vaccine each year. Flu vaccine is even more important this year. Influenza vaccine will not protect you from COVID-19. There is not currently an approved vaccine to prevent COVID-19 illness at this time. However, as the previous slide showed, influenza vaccine can prevent a large number of influenza illnesses and hospitalization. This can reduce the burden on our already taxed healthcare system and those valuable resources that we're going to need to fight COVID-19 response, particularly if there's a resurgence in New York State. The CDC and the New York State Department of Health have provided healthcare providers and pharmacists with valuable information on how to safely administer vaccines during this pandemic. So if you have not recently been exposed to COVID-19, you have not tested positive recently for COVID-19 and do not have symptoms of COVID-19, you can go to your healthcare provider, your pharmacist, and you can get a flu shot, and they know how to safely do that during this pandemic. The next couple slides, I just wanted to show a really great resource for anybody who's having trouble finding flu vaccine. So this is called the Vaccine Finder. You can find any vaccine that you need by utilizing this, but today I'm going to highlight flu vaccine with this. So when you click on the Find Vaccine, this is the page that you're going to see. You can see you can select the vaccine that you want, and then my next slide, I'm going to show you what that screen looks like. You put in your zip code, how many miles you're willing to travel to get the vaccine, and then there's a gray box that says search for vaccine. That lights up and you can search for the vaccines you're looking for. Now this little circle over here with this white positive sign in it, if you click on that, you're going to see a screen that looks like this. You can choose your age group, or you can choose all ages as I have highlighted here. And as you scroll down, you'll see other vaccines. I took the screenshot of this one because it shows the flu shot, but down below it includes vaccines for tetanus or for shingles or for varicella or chickenpox. And then under the travel, there's also where you can find yellow fever vaccine. So for this one, I chose flu shots for 65 and older. And then I added in the other information. When I click search vaccines, this is what you see. And it shows you all the places in your area that should have the particular vaccine that you were looking for. Still a good idea to call ahead to make sure. They do try to keep this as updated as possible, but it's still a good idea to call ahead and make sure they still have that particular vaccine that you're looking for. These are some additional resources if you'd like some more information. That vaccine finder's here at the top of this list. The next one is our New York State Department of Health influenza webpage. And CDC has a couple of good web pages that could be helpful. They put out a frequently asked questions every year for each influenza season. So they do have theirs out for this season now, and it does have many topics that also correlate with the COVID-19 pandemic. And then there's the CD influenza webpage. And then here's my email if you have further questions that you would prefer to just direct directly to me. So these last couple of little images here, roll up your sleeve to fight the flu because nobody has time for the flu. And that's the end of my presentation, and I will stop sharing. Okay.